Okay, so for this one, we have to group together our x's and our y's and move over our constant. So I'm going to put my x's together and put my y's together. I'm going to add over that 8. Then I have to get rid of this 4 in front of the x squared because you cannot complete the square with a term. And that's going to give me minus 2x. And then plus y squared plus 4y. Now I can complete the square for both parentheses. Find b over 2 quantity squared, which is 2 over 2 squared for x, which is 1 squared, which is 1. And for the y, that's going to be 4 over 2 squared, which is 2 squared, which is 4. Make that a little more noticeable, 2 squared. So I'm going to add them in. I'm going to add the 1 to the x parenthesis because that's where it came from. X squared minus 2x plus 1. And I'm going to add the 4 into the y parenthesis because that's where that came from. And that's going to equal 8. I'm going to, again, when you have a number outside your parenthesis, you need to multiply it back into your constant. So 4 times 1 is 4. So I'm not adding 1, I'm adding 4 times 1, which is 4. I'm adding this 4 here because there's no number in front of the y, so I can just go ahead and straight add that. Now I can factor the left side. It's going to be x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared. And that's going to equal 8 plus 4 is 16. Your last step, your equation has to equal 1, so divide everything by 16. And you get x minus 1, not plus 1, quantity squared over 4, because we can reduce this 4 and that's 16, plus y plus 2 quantity squared, that's a square, over 16 equals 1. So here is our equation in vertex form, and then we want to find our center, or first I should say, because your bigger number a is under your y, this is going to be vertical. So your center is 1, negative 2. I'm going to have my v sub x as 1 plus or minus the square root of 4 because 4 is under x, which is 2, negative 2. My v sub y is 1, negative 2 plus or minus, I'm going to do 4 because the square root of 16 is 4, and that's under the y. And for your foci, you're going to add it to the add and subtract to the y component. We're going to add and subtract c, but we got to find c, so I got to say c squared equals a squared minus b squared, which is 12. When I square root both those sides, c is going to equal 2 root 3. Now that I've found everything, I found my equation, I found all my stuff, I can go ahead and graph this center at 1, negative 2. I'm going to the left and right 2. That's your B. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to go up and down 4 because that's your A. 1, 2, 3, 4. And down 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to connect my 4 vertices. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my foci. The square root of 12, or 2 root 3, is like 3.5. So I'll say 1, 2, 3.5, and that's your foci. This is your center, and down 1, 2, 3.5. And here's your foci here. And our foci are vertical because it is a vertical ellipse. So I hope you all got that one. We're going to do one more example. Given the foci and the major axis length of 6, find the equation and graph. So I can say, looking at the foci, what's changing is the x component. That's how I know it's horizontal. We want to look at that change. I can say for your foci, you're adding and subtracting C from your center. So if I can find the midpoint between this change, then I can find the center point. So midpoint formula is we add them together and divide by 2. And your K is already here. This is like saying H minus C, and this is H plus C, because these are your foci points. So my center is 2. I'm going to use the K from the foci is 1. So the center has got to be 2, 1. How did I get then from my center 2 to 4 and from 2 to 0? I added and subtracted 2. So your little c has got to be 2. That's not because this center number is 2. That's just the difference from your center point to your 2 vertices. They tell you your major axis length is A. Our major axis is 2A. And 2A is 6. I'm sorry, your major axis length is 6. So 2A equals 6, so then A equals 3. So we need to find out what B equals. We can use our equation. C squared equals A squared minus B squared. I know C, so C squared would be 4. I know A is 3, so 3 squared is 9 minus B squared. If I subtract that 9, I get negative 5 equals negative B squared. Get rid of those negatives. So 5 equals B squared. So B equals square root 5. So I can go ahead and write the equation. I know it's horizontal, so I know my x of x minus 2, because the h comes from your center. Remember, center is hk. X minus 2 squared over a squared. A is 3, so a squared is 9. Plus y minus k squared over b squared. B is root 5, so b squared has got to be 5. And that's going to equal 1. That's our equation. We found the center already. They gave us the foci. We have to find the vertices, the major and the minor vertices. So I'm going to say Vx is 2 plus or minus 3, 5. I'm sorry, not 5, 1. And then your V sub y is 2, 3 plus or minus the square root of 5, because we're adding and subtracting b here. So I can graph my center, which I already found, 2, positive 1, where x is 2 and y is positive 1. And then I'm going to go 3 left and right because the 9 is under the x and your a is 3. So to the right 3 and to the left 3. And b is the square root of 5, which is 2 and a little bit. So I'm going to go up 2 and a little bit and down 2 and a little bit. And I'm going to connect your 4 vertices. If your vertice numbers are not perfect whole numbers, it's okay to estimate where the points are. That's fine. Lastly, you need to do the foci. They gave us 0, 1 and 4, 1. I just realized the first one is not in the correct spot. 0, 1. And those are your foci, and in the middle you have your center. So go ahead and do this last one that you try. Pause the video now, do it, play it again to see if you got it correct. I will be continuing to solve it. So we have to check first what has changed. What has changed is our y part, which is why it's vertical. So I can find the midpoint there to find the center. -4 plus 6 all over 2 is 2 over 2, which is 1. So that's the y part of my center, 1. What hasn't changed is your h, that's your -2. So we got our center. How did we get from 1 to 6 or 1 to -4? We moved 5 in a positive or negative direction, so little c equals 5. They tell us that the minor axis length is 6. That's b. So if 2b equals 6, then b has to equal 3. We can then find a. C squared equals a squared minus b squared. And that's 25 equals a squared minus 9. Adding that over, I get 34 equals a squared. So a equals the square root of 34. Writing the equation, I'm going to do x plus 2. And because it's vertical, our b squared goes under x, which is 9, plus y minus 1 squared over a squared, which is 34, equals 1. That's the equation. We already found the center. Up here, I have to find my vertices. So v sub x is going to equal -2 plus or minus 3, 1. And my v sub y is going to be -2, 1 plus or minus square root 34. Graphing this together, center -2, 1. I'm going to go to the right 3 and to the left 3 for my b. Up 34 and down 30, the square root of 34 is almost 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6. And down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just about 6. I'm going to connect all 4 of my vertices. I'm going to throw in my foci, -2, -4, down here. This is my center. And my other foci, which are given up here, 2 and 6. So really, really close. And now you have graphed it. So I hope you got this answer. This is the end of the section and the videos.